Max, the next question is for you. Prior to your role at RZIM, you were both a lawyer and a political advisor to some of the world's most influential leaders. My question is this: how did you reconcile representing clients and political leaders when they were not always who they said they were?
Yeah, thanks so much for that question, Alana. And just to go on from what Jason was saying, the other mistake that I make as a culprit is just putting an exclamation mark on the end of it. I don't think that's enough to warrant sufficient. But look, your question is a very important one because it gets to, I think, something that is at the heart of all people in every aspect of our economy, but particularly working in law and politics for me, seeing, probably the best and the worst of people twisting identity or masquerading in their identity for personal gain. It was very difficult. And I mean, particularly in politics, I think that is often the case. But in law too, I definitely had one client I remember well who was just not being truthful about the facts, the basis of which formed the foundation on which he wanted to take things forward, as a plaintiff in this case. And so I think the short answer is that I tried to, as best I could, imperfectly, of course. I tried to work on two things. One was building a culture of truth in the organizations where I worked. So in the political party, in the political office there, amongst our team of lawyers and the legal team, the very small legal team that I oversaw, to actually build a culture of truth where authenticity was encouraged and where we just were very comfortable with an objective reference point for truth, including moral truth as well. So we weren't fragmenting ourselves into places where it was okay or endorsed in any way or even permitted to just build our own standards or our own systems of what's okay or what's truthful. So I think striving for cultures of truth at the organizational level was really important for me to survive a lot of that. And the other thing is actually just building models of integrity in our own hearts, for me as an individual. So even when things do break down out there, and certainly in law firms and certainly in political parties, in all political parties, things aren't going to be perfect all of the time, even if there is a culture of authenticity. The nature of the system is such that often it does bring out the worst in people. And as one of my early mentors said, you just can't expect, if you're going to go into this kind of work to try and make a difference, to try and make the world a better place, you can't expect everyone and everything to work in the way that you want. And you can't expect everyone to meet the standards of, perfection in the context of morality or integrity. And then they would say that the fleas come with the dog. And so in law, just as is the case in politics, just as I'm sure is the case with a lot of Jason's work, working for RBC, the fleas do come with the dog. It doesn't mean that we throw the whole dog out, but we do need to navigate carefully the extent to which those fleas can impact on us and our personal integrity. So we do have to draw moral lines. I think we have to be willing, certainly as political advisors, to speak our minds, speak truth to power, to speak up, even if that means our job might be at risk, for truth. And again, the which you've built a successful culture of truth will help with that. But I think it really boils down in a very simplistic way to doing what we can. Doing what we can to maintain integrity in here and to build cultures of truth and authenticity in our organizations and in our teams.
Thank you, Max. So two key takeaways for us. First, corporately, we need to create this culture of truth and model authenticity and vulnerability. And then individually creating integrity in and amongst our own hearts and making sure, nobody can see our hearts, right? So making sure our own hearts are right. And we're modeling our own hearts on what's right and what's true.